to Long Island Junior Soccer League Soccer at Home Initiatives. My name is Ronan Wiseman. I'm the technical director for the league. Today we're going to be speaking with Joe Camarda. Joe is the president of Rocky Point Soccer Club. He is also the founder of the club, which he founded in 2007. The club started off with 15 intramural players and now has 19 travel teams and approximately 600 players. Joe was coached at St. Anthony's High School at LIU Post and is currently the varsity coach at Rocky Point High School. Welcome, Joe, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Ronnie. Pleasure.
So we're going to just talk about, things that our clubs, that the Long Island Junior Soccer League clubs are facing at this point in time. So, Joe, with, COVID-19 and this era that we're in right now, what are you guys doing as far as training? I hear that some clubs do virtual sessions and different variations of that. So what are you guys doing at the club to keep the players busy?
Yeah, so once the pandemic hit, I uploaded a lot of skills training on the website, and I think it was something maybe over 30, just basic foot skills, different type of moves that the players can practice from home, because we didn't know what materials they had at home or equipment.
Right.
So we categorized them for just players' homework or something like that. We put it on the website, and the kids obviously would practice that, and they would either send me an email with some proof that some of them were training, and we also tried to do a challenge of the week. So whether it would be a trick with the ball or something physical, and we tried to post it on our Instagram account.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the only thing we could have done at that point, and I think it's been working. The kids, it was good feedback that we got from the parents, that they enjoyed the videos.
Did the kids videotape themselves doing the challenges and send that to you or on your Instagram page?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they would tag the club account, and we would just give them a little highlight on the Instagram, But it was good. You could see the kids were having some fun.
Did you try any other type of remote engagement, like a live training session where you would be on there with, say, a full team, all obviously being in remote?
That we did not do. We were thinking about doing it and maybe use some of the trainers that we had run them, or myself. But we did have one of my previous varsity players that's playing now in Springfield College. He did some sessions and we posted it on Instagram, but nothing live per se.
Yeah,
I know a couple other clubs were doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you find, the engagement of the players? I know that a lot of the kids, when school shut down, they were on Zoom calls and getting a lot of homework, over the computer, and they may have gotten a little bit fatigued from it, so they were zoomed out, as you may call it. Did you find the engagement was good, that when you sent out stuff, you got 50%, 80%, 100% of a response from the kids?
Yeah, I think it was low, maybe 10%. I think it was obviously stressful, and it's a whole learning process for the kids getting adapted to doing the schoolwork and a new way of life. So any physical interaction or anything, they would either, for what I see in my phys ed classes, riding their bikes or just going out in the yard, doing yard work or doing stuff like that. But so I would think it was a low percentage that the kids were interacting with maybe the videos, but we posted them just as a resource, and we wanted to give some type of technical, work that they can focus on. But,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it can be challenging for kids to stay engaged at this time, yeah, for sure. Uh, so looking forward, it looks like, we've got light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, as far as, reopening. What are you planning for tryouts, or what are you thinking about doing for your tryouts for next year? Because usually June is when, that's tryout season, but obviously nothing's being done at the moment.
Yes. So we're up to have a board meeting Zoom next week to discuss those the topics. But as far as the tryouts, I think we're gonna not have any and carry over the existing teams from the spring, and hope that all the players do return. Because that's another challenge that we might come across, where parents maybe don't want their kids on the field in the fall, depending on how this all turns out. But once and if we do get started, then that's when we would try to create maybe two U8 teams or U9 teams. But we did have a good result with the U8s last season in the fall.
Yeah.
So we do have their contacts that we can probably carry them over to this upcoming season. So I think it all depends on what we have available to us. But for the most part, we're just planning on carrying over the teams and just hope that we get the maximum participation.
Yeah. Did you look into that? Did you do a kind of a survey of the players, of parents, ask how comfortable they would be if they plan to come back or anything like that, to give you an idea of?
We haven't done anything like that yet, because we're still actually. I just today finished the setup for the registration for the fall, and we're going to send an email out next week to obviously get everyone registered for the fall, and then we're going to fill that out, see how it goes, and then if we need to, then we can send some type of survey. But we're hoping that we get everybody back. I think everybody's eager to get back on the field, honestly. So hopefully it'll be a positive result.
Yeah, let's hope so. You spoke about the teams, just transitioning over and continuing going forward. With the new teams going into travel, so your rising U9 teams, is that a group training scenario, or do you have group training throughout the club? And is it, in other words, you have a group of kids that want to play, say, okay, you're all going to be in the program, we'll find a team for you to play on. Is that the philosophy of the club?
Well, we try, in normal circumstances, what we try to do is create the U8 teams, which I think are second graders. And we try to get them to play somewhat of pre-travel experiences, just so, and I think we worked with Southampton and Norfolk just to get some games for these players. And we put together maybe 8 kids on the team, and they play maybe 6 games. They're still considered obviously our intramural program, but we just call that the pre-travel program for these players. And it's like a stepping stone and good preparation and transition for them when they reach the U9s.
Yeah.
So parents have an idea what it is to go travel a little bit. And then for some, you can tell maybe it's not for them. Parents don't want to do this for their child, too much traveling, or so it's a good stepping stone, and it's a good way for us to guide if the players can handle it, and if they can't, then we try to keep them in the intramural program until we do find a good group that can handle that, the travel level. Because the last thing we want to do is put them in Long Island Junior and they're not prepared for. And being such a small club that we are, the numbers, we really don't have that many to, select from. So it's great to have the interest first, and then we can make adjustments as the team is formed and the training is available for them.
No. So obviously, with no play in the spring, is it going to be whatever number of kids, say in that age group are interested? You may know them from intramurals in the fall, but if they're interested and they want to play travel, you'll take them and form teams, and then will they train together as a group going forward, and you put them into
Yes.
team weekend? Is that how you do it as a club?
Yes. So we'll form the teams. So we based it off the intramural program. We'll send out emails like in the past. We have tryouts for this age group, or we're looking to form a team for this age group, and then we start doing training. Sometimes what we offer off the intramural program is just an advanced training for anyone that might be interested in doing a little extra besides the intramural training. And then most likely those are going to be our travel players, because these are the kids and parents that want to do more. And the kids have maybe a little bit more abilities, more active, and we offer that training as well. And then once we get at least 8 or 10 kids, we can able to keep them together throughout the year and give them that experience with a trainer, and the trainer gets used to them and goes to the games and they're working with a parent. We have a volunteer coach parent that's helping out with coaching, and the trainer goes there and helps that parent out, so they work together.
Yeah.
So it's been working. I think we've been averaging like 2 boys UA teams, 1 girls UA team consistently for the past 3 years. And that's really helped us make the U9 teams ready for Long Island Junior. So it's been working. I think we're happy with that result.
Yeah. So, looking forward into the fall, how do you see the fall going for your club? That LIJ, the season is going to be starting a little bit later in September. So it gives people more time to get organized, during the reopening process. So, how do you see the fall going for your club?
Um, well, we're hoping to start off with once we get the okay from, because we use the school grounds at Rocky Point. So
Yeah.
once we do get the okay to use the fields, we did get an email from the athletic director just notifying us that to hand in our building use forms, just so he has everything in order. So if we do get the okay, we can just follow suit as we've been always doing in previous years. And we're looking just to keep it small groups, maybe obviously by each team. Make sure they're just separated, just getting them out on the field, and follow the protocols, obviously, that they're going to give us, which we don't know yet, what we're expected to do on the field with the kids. So I think once that comes out, then I think that's when we're going to implement some training on the fields with the kids being together in some capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of clubs are in the same boat, that they're using school fields for training and games, and they have to wait for the schools to give them permission to do that. Excuse me. Speaking of schools, you're the high school coach at Rocky Point also. What does that season look like for you guys? Is there a plan in place for starting a little bit later, or is it on course to start, late August with a preseason and then go right into September?
Yeah, so normally we would be out there playing now summer league with the kids, and obviously that's not that's not enforced right now. So the talk being with Section 11, I think they're saying that it might be pushed back to just when school starts. Technically that 1 week before, and that I think that they're including all other sports as well, like football and field hockey and all the other sports. But I think they're hoping to start on time. you know, the last 2 weeks of August, but they're saying it might just start like first day of school, you know, or, you know, depending on what the okay is from above, you know, who knows?
And you're a teacher in the district also, so you kind of have
Yes.
to, you know, for your job to, you know, go back to school and teaching and so on. So if they start in September, is that going to be an abbreviated season? Are they going to give you a couple of weeks to do a preseason and then go into a regular season, or is it any talk about that?
They haven't discussed that yet. All the schedules are pretty much finalized on Section 11 with scrimmages and non-league games, and but they haven't really spoke about if we do start late. I mean, obviously they got to give minimum 6 days of practice before any competition.
Right.
So depending on the schedules, maybe if, in my opinion, if they see that, maybe they'll push that first week of games later on, you know, to give that opportunity for training for the kids, because obviously we want to keep the safety of the players in consideration, you know, giving them proper time to get the fitness in and to be able to play, you know, because
Yeah.
who knows what the players are doing now, you know, with training, who's not training, who's doing training. So to get everybody on the same page, I hope they give that opportunity, you know, to give the kids that room to work out a little bit, you know.
I know that there's probably the discussions maybe in your school district as well about you know, the high school kids continuing to do remote learning to allow the middle school and elementary kids more room in the building to spread out, you know, and maintain social distancing and so on. Is that something that's been discussed? And if that is discussed, is that have an effect on your ability to have training, you know, with the kids and so on and so forth?
Yeah, as far as the, you know, what we're hearing back from the district, as far as right now, with the step is to start the fall. That's normal teaching, but it does, if they do go back to virtual classes online and teaching online, we just don't know yet as far as the procedures that they're going to implement. So I think as a backup, you know, students, hopefully they have Chromebooks to help them in case that happens. So I think the schools are preparing themselves in case we do stay home. But, and then there's other talk, maybe splitting the kids up, maybe half the size, different sections, but that's all talk. Nothing's been really finalized.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when we're back to training and to competition, yeah, I guess the school district will set up protocols for that. You know, if there are temperature checks and you know, wearing of masks and so on and so forth, they will come out with a plan for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure once things get finalized and they see the direction that we are heading into, you know, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to have to follow suit with how the state wants everything implemented on the fields.
Yeah.
The other concern is just is beginning before practice and after practice when the kids, you know, they're all, you know, pumped
Socializing.
up, water, socializing. So do we? So whatever the protocols are to keep them 6 feet apart or distance from each other, that's all a wait and see what that comes out.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. You know, should they just naturally want to congregate and hang out with their friends? I can see that for sure.
Yeah, naturally. It's just you see somebody, you want to shake their hand, give them a hug, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and
have you seen? Let's go back. Actually, let's bring the club and the high school together. Have you seen more of your players from the club moving on to play in the high school as as you've been there and been in both the high school and the club, and how has it improved the level of the club or the level of the high school play is what I'm asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I first started, we had 4 travel players
Right.
combined throughout middle school and high school. And so once we implemented the club, it grew obviously. And I think about 3 years ago, we started seeing, or 4 years ago, we started seeing the kids coming from the club into the school system.
Yeah.
So it's definitely helped my program at the varsity level being more competitive. I feel like we still have a lot of room to improve in, but the kids have a little bit more of understanding what to do on the field, and the skill level is definitely improved over the years. So that's nice to see. And my current sophomore age group, my JV team, had a very successful season this past season, and those are the kids as well has been with us since they were in kindergarten. This past season with my varsity kids, I think I had 13 seniors, and all 13, I would say 12 out of the 13 played with the club, and it was just it was a good group of boys. You saw that they had a family
Yeah.
point of view on everything because they've been together for so long. So it's good to see that coming through the system, through the school, and we just hope to keep improving. Like every year, after every season, especially after my varsity season, we dissect how we played, how the season went, and then how we can improve what we need help in, but also how can we bring that back to the youth program and
Mm-hmm.
see, okay, this is where we need to improve at the varsity level. How can we trickle that down to the youth level and help make those improvements at the younger ages? So before they get to the varsity level or JV level, we can look at those areas and help improve it at the younger ages. So when they do get to the varsity level, I'm not working on those weaknesses still. We can move on and keep developing, So I think, especially after this past season, I think I met with you and we discussed it, and we started implementing a new philosophy for the varsity program. And we also developed a new training format for the youth level to help just help where we're weak at, and I think we had a positive response with the coaches at the youth level and the trainers, and we were going to implement it this season in the spring, but I guess we'll wait and we'll see how it goes in the fall,
Yeah.
But this sounds good,
Yeah. Approximately, Joe, what percentage of players on the varsity team are in your club?
Yeah, I would say it's about 95%.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the club, we have a small percentage that are outside the district. And it's just primarily Rocket Point players, that go to the school district. But yeah, I would say it's a small percentage of outside the district that we have playing in the youth level.
So it's a little bit easier for you to implement that culture and that philosophy with the younger players and the high school, because it's essentially it's almost the same group of kids.
Correct.
Working.
Correct. Yeah, and the parents like the new format that we proposed to them, and they were excited about it. So hopefully we can implement it in the fall, and I think get the kids all on the same page, because I think that's important to have a good guidance for each of the kids to understand each. It's just like a school setting, different grades, they have to graduate and move on to different learning venues.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep that the same way at the youth program now, and hopefully we can get the kids where they need to be, ready
Yeah.
for just to be a good high school player, that's the
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you organize events together? So where the youth clubs come out when you're playing a high school game, they come out and act as ball boys or ball girls as support, and any special things like that to solidify that relationship between the school and the club.
Yes, so I think we started this uh, once we got into Long Island Junior. We started off at our homecoming games. We had ball boys and then a halftime show. So we would invite 4 teams. We split the team in, the field in half, and we had 2 games, mini games going on during halftime. And we used to have a group, ball boys or ball girls, and we used it for both the boys game and the girls game. So as it progressed, now we kind of have implemented that every home game we have at least 6 to maybe 12 ball boys or ball girls helping us out at both the varsity games, boys and girls.
Yeah.
So and what's funny is some of the kids that were ball boys, 10 years ago, and now on the JV team and or varsity team, some of them, and they say, I remember that when I used to do that, and so you feel that connection, and it makes you happy inside to see that the kids
Yeah.
felt good about, doing that in the past.
Yeah. I'm
So
sure, during, times like this and what we've just gone through that, getting back to, that sort of environment where, the younger players see the older players playing and I'm sure it'll be a big relief for them to know that life is going to, get back to normal and things are going to be, as they used to be. So that's probably a good thing for them to see that and to expect that as they go forward. What about
and
you?
actually also, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, do your coaches at the club or at the high school or, your JV coaches, uh, do they work in the club also?
Yes. So my JV coach just retired he works at Pat Med High School. So he's been with me over 10 years now. But he was always involved doing training with me at the youth level.
Mm-hmm.
And my other coaches, one is the assistant girls varsity coach, Ronnie Pandavas. You know him. And Sean Doherty also helps out. He's going to be my JV coach coming up. So we try to keep the trainers that are at the club also, able to work with the school programs because we want to try to keep that same philosophy. So if something changes at the school level, we want to trickle that down to the youth level, and these guys pretty much help us with that task or with that goal that we have. So it's we're always on the field together, which is pretty fun, and to see everybody together, both at different levels.
Yeah. Do you do anything at the school at a very young age to introduce them to the club? At 4 or 5 years of age, and say, and obviously we're not talking about very formal training, but just something fun and say, we're the local soccer club, and you go into the school and do a little presentation for the kids and.
Yeah, we usually just do sometimes like a free clinic over the summer. Maybe we do like from kindergarten to second grade, we'll do one session, and then third grade to fifth grade, we'll do another session. And we just do maybe like a 2-hour free clinic just to get the kids in. And we have the whole staff there from the school and some of the trainers from the club, and we just give them a little fun games to play, and the parents are there. Sometimes we do like ice cream truck. Everybody gets free ice cream at the end. But
Coach ice cream too.
the coaches, yeah.
That ice cream, okay.
But we've done that, like, I think the last time we did that was 2 years ago. So it depends on sometimes the schedule on the fields and obviously what we have available in our lives. So Pete Costa is my vice president for the club, but he's the girls varsity coach. So we're always consistently talking with one another. What can we do for the young kids at the elementary schools? And a lot of them know us because we're in the buildings with them. We're both at the elementary level. So a lot of the kids are familiar with us at that level. But for those that are not familiar, we always try to do something free or give back to the community. And a lot of times when we do that, we bring our varsity players. The varsity players are just they want to be there with the young kids. They also help out with our intramural program. So they're just like an assistant trainer at the fields. And you know what? It's a way for them to make a connection with the young kids as well, and it's good to see the interaction between the varsity players and the elementary kids. It's really, it's great to see, and I hope we could get back on the field so we can experience those memories again,
Yeah, no, that's very good. Speaking of the varsity kids, what's the number of players or percentage of players that move on then to play in junior college or a 4-year college? Do you know
Yes,
that?
it's low at our district.
Yeah.
So I would say every year, a graduating class, from the varsity team, we either have anywhere from 1 to 3 players that play at a college level. And I think that started 2009 because I started in 2006 at the varsity level, but we had maybe 1 or 2 within 3 or 4 years that would go to like the next level, the college level. And I was just coming back off of coaching at CW Post, so it was, I wanted to see more, but we didn't have the players that can play at that level, So now it's good to see that we have at least per season, kids moving on, at least 1 to 3 average that go play at that next level, which is good to see.
Yeah.
So we just hope to, make that continue, and that's all we can do. Try to do is make them into good varsity players, good high school players, and if they have that passion to move on, then that's something we would like to always encourage.
Yeah. Have you seen? I'm sure the trend has been upward. From when you started the club, as to obviously the number of kids moving on and going into college. From the high school. I'm sure that's an upward trend, and it seems like the more you do with the club and the more you have them integrated with the high school, it seems like that trend is going to continue to go up.
Yeah, we hope it keeps. We're happy where we are, and obviously we always, like I said before, we always look for improving. Because I think if you just settle and you stay happy or this is going well, I think that's when things can fall apart.
Yeah.
So it's always good to critique yourself and always try to improve, yourself, and then branch out to where you think needs improvement or changes. So I think that's why it's always good to have experienced coaches working as well with the parents, because you hear the parent side of it, that because they know the kids very well, that it's their child's friends or relatives. Right. And so I think the relationship between the trainer and the parent has been working great for us, and we want to just keep that going. I know there's a lot of clubs that just go trainer based, which is great, but I don't think something like that would ever work in Rocky Point, being we're so small and the community is very, they come together for a lot of things, and I think they will like to always be a part of their child's growth. And we agree with that, you know, that philosophy.
Have any of your former players gone full circle where they've gone through high school, gone through college, and then come back to the club and help you with some training and coaching?
Yes, we actually, this past season was the first season. We had one player, Carson, his name was, he went to, I think, Wilson College.
Yeah.
He played there. He got injured, but then finished up. He did a great job. And this was the first summer, the past summer, that he asked me to be like a summer league coach.
Right.
And we put him on the roster for one of the JV teams because we were able to field 2 JV teams. So I needed the help, actually. So it was good timing. And he did a phenomenal job. Him and one of my other players, he's still at Springfield. Jack Costa is still there. He's got 2 more years. But together, those 2 guys did a great job. And it was just, for me, it was comical to see them coaching, giving them directions on the field at the JV level. But they also stuck around and helped out with the varsity team, you know. So I hope that continues because, you know, the younger kids, they respected them, and they actually helped out a little bit during preseason, just, you know, warm them up, or and the kids enjoyed them, and you see that they kept calling me over the season. How you doing, coach? How's the team look? And I think that was the first time we experienced that. And it was it gave me goosebumps, you know, inside. It just felt like this is what it's all about, you know. Seeing a kid develop, play, do something they love, like you said, go to that next level, and then come back and help where it all started, you know, for them.
Yeah.
So it was great. It was great to see.
Yeah, that's a good story. Joe, as always, a pleasure to chat with you and talk about soccer in your club. Thanks for taking the time to join us today, and everyone that sees this, you know, thanks for tuning in, and please look out for additional webinars coming up as part of Long Island Junior's Soccer at Home initiatives. So Joe, be well, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you on the field soon.
Thank you, Ronnie. Same to you. Stay
All
healthy.
Bye-bye.
All right.